The Illuminati know what they're doing. They're not stupid. But fortunately, it's at a point now where we can't really focus on them because we already know that they're bastards. We already know that they're going to be the most procrastinating, slowest criminals. They've got everybody that they wanted to seduce in Washington, and all of our governors and mayors, they have to know something's going on. But they're afraid. That's all it comes down to. I mean, if you think about how many leaders have actually stood up to them in the past, hasn't been many, has it? It just shows you the level of fear that's in the human consciousness. So, if I need to be that representation for you, where you won't be afraid anymore, if I can be that. To me, it's not difficult. All you gotta do is just say your grievances. It's our constitutional right. Speak our grievances about what we think is right, what we think is wrong. It's our constitutional right. The Constitution itself gives us the parameters to be free men and women, to raise our families any way we see fit, as long as we don't infringe on those rights of another human being. And that comes down to free will. Is that living beings in the universe understand that we really do have free will. We really do have power to choose over a reality, to change it, to affect it, to influence it. And that's a simple right. But it does take you out of your self-absorbed world for a little bit to understand that everybody has that right. But some of us sometimes, even if people who are successful, it's more difficult because you are already established. You would be afraid of change since you've worked so hard to establish yourself in the already establishment. It's a scary process. Think you're the one that paid your dues, went through the system, went to school, got your credit, got your job, and you achieved what they wanted you to achieve in the system. But that still has nothing to do with standing up for what's right and standing up against what's wrong in the world. And it also has to do with free will choice once again, because I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm not here to tell you how to be, how to think, or what to say. I'm just sharing my opinions and my beliefs. But I understand that we as humans just want to live. I understand that. So I understand it. Sometimes you hear someone talk about certain things, it doesn't really affect you because, once again, you're already established. But this is a fundamental issue, and actually a spiritual one. And what is that spirituality? What is it? It's that understanding, to understand that, yeah, that's great. You made it on your own. You established yourself. Good for you. And your love for your family and your friends and those close to you is another example of your community and how far does your heart reach out. But upon further analyzation, you realize it's not about just caring about you and yours, but about others too. And that's the quest. That's the quest. It's about actually caring about others. It's about caring about the planet. And if I could fool you to do one thing that would be harmful to the planet, and you could do it without even questioning it, that's real manipulation. If I can do something to you to make you choose without your full knowledge that what you're doing could be negative, in a way, I have full control over your entire life and destiny. I'll give you an example. Let's say you work at a business and you write down on pieces of paper. So that paper comes from trees being chopped down. Let's say that paper that you're writing on has affected homes, has affected families, even though you may not see it. Like, you may not see that corporate engine. You may not see that corporate engine that has believed that we're supposed to accept a consumption reality. That we're supposed to accept a reality where we're supposed to be consumers. That we consume. I can see why the Illuminati has called us useless eaters. Because they created those monsters called us. It seems like a small issue, writing on a piece of paper. Who cares, right? You run your business off paper. Your money's printed on paper. Yet, what is the process to go in making that paper? Or what about foods? Picking up your friend a sub from some fast food chain full of preservatives and full of pesticides and chemicals and hormones with the intent to poison the populace, with the intent to make things cheaper to gain more of a profit. That is the intention of the creation. Yet you got your money and the services are all around you, so go ahead and go. You're not harming anybody, right? What if you give that poisonous food to somebody else because you've been conditioned to believe that the foods that you get are A-okay, you know, that they're good. Yet when the intention of the corporation to make cheaper foods is profit, it's their intention to make food is not to make you healthier. So hence, they don't give a shit. And in a way, you don't give a shit either, because you accept it. And not only do you accept it, you've been mentally controlled to believe it's okay to consume that in that fashion without questioning it, without questioning your authorities, without seeing transparency, without knowing what's in the products, without knowing who made the products, for you to make a moral judgment on it. Because your moral judgment on how all things work within your reality is responsible for the energy that you give out every day in the world. So if you're supporting things that have ill intentions and you're doing it unknowingly, like giving your friend a burger from a fast food chain, yet it's so off balance, you know that's not the highest quality that humans can achieve because of the intentions underneath the creation of that product. Think about it. Or writing on that paper where there's families who are being disrupted and villagers who have to find new ways of life or things of that nature. What else, man? There's so many other things. Medicines, marijuana, plants. Look at the issue over marijuana. It's absurd. It's a plant. Tobacco is a plant. Beer is made from plants. So now we're fighting over plants. Anything and everything that they can polarize us on, anything and everything that they can create space between us so they can make decisions without us ever really knowing and without us ever really questioning it. That's another problem. They sign laws and pass laws and all these corporate relief and corporate taxations and elitism that spawns this kind of greed is because they do it in front of our faces. And they keep us so distant, so selfish, so much of a consumer, and so selfish, and bogged down with our responsibilities to the point where that's all we really want to do is take care of our damn selves. Because that's what it comes down to, right? Are you starting to see the selfishness involved? Are you starting to see that selfishness comes from these Illuminati bankers and corporate elite families? That's what they instigate within us to the very spiritual core. And that's all there is to it. So what we accept, what we give out, is what's perpetuated. We perpetuate it. We are just as much as part of the problem as they are. Because we accept it and perpetuate it for them. We do nothing and we say nothing about it. But that's going to change. That's going to change. And there's so many issues that people can take ill intention if you really look at it. How about tennis shoes? You'll have a big corporation go to a third world country who has totally different customs than our consumptive reality, by the way. Take your pride out of it for a little bit and look at how much pride and ego and how egotistical and arrogant we are when it comes to believing that we can go into another place we have no clue of how their customs are. We have no clue of what their entire civilization is like because our world is already handed down to us and we think that's the greatest thing ever. So we're going to go into another country, at least corporations will, go into another country, offer them all this money and economy boosting and corporate ideas and corporate idealism and capitalism and USA, we're the greatest country in the world type of products. And we go over there and we completely disrupt how their entire cultural, economic system is based upon. Completely change it. Not only that, they hire. I don't know exactly how they do it, but all I know is this. When they got those kids in those shops and they got those people in those shops working for pennies to make your tennis shoes that then they bring over here, they ship over here, and we take that tennis shoe and pay for the coolness and the brand of it, put some athlete in them, and we sell them for $200. Tell me how that makes any sense. And then when you go and wear the shoe, and you walk down the street thinking that you're hot shit with your brand new tennis shoes, not knowing that some villager made it in a third world country for pennies. That their whole economy is shot. And that's not happening with just one corporation. That happens with all of them because they know it's cheaper. Why? Because the internal intention of these families is greed and it's profit. So they will do anything in their power to cut costs. They know that if they put a athletic tennis shoe shop up here in America, that you would have to pay American citizens to work those shops a higher rate than by going to a third world country and offering them how cool we are as Americans to work for pennies, and completely pull them into the debt system, completely pull them into that debt chain. Think about it. And that's the corporation's intentions, to put everyone on that system, to put everyone on that debt system where we believe that we have to go to them for their services. Unfortunately, it's unsustainable because you're always taking from another to gain for yourself. And at some point, there's going to be nowhere to take from.